Hello, everybody. Welcome to MORE-VILLE, Orville, the podcast that reviews the Orville. This is Mike-EL, and I'm joined by G.I.Jolie.
Hi. He is joined by me.
Oh, hi.
And also...
Also by Champion.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Champion. Thanks so much for introducing me. I really love it when you guys introduce me.
The audience is missing 50% of the humor here because they can't see you. Anyway, it's too bad.
Yeah.
All that gold. But anyway, yeah, it's too bad we couldn't have shared that story on the air. It was pretty funny, but whatever. Maybe we'll slide it in at the end or something. But anyway, we're here to talk about the 8th episode of Season 3 of the Orville, Midnight Blue. And Champion is going to give us the quick rundown of this one in 140 characters or less.
I'll give you the Twitter version of the rundown.
Sure.
This is essentially a revisiting of the Moklan sanctuary planet, where Havina and all the Moklan females have taken up residence. Now, it is the 1 year anniversary. I guess anniversary is not the appropriate word, but they have been sort of under Union supervision for 1 year, and after 1 year, they the Moklans and the Union revisit the treaty. They inspect the colony, make sure that everything is going according to plan, make sure that nobody is smuggling more babies out of Moklis and that sort of thing. So Bortus, Kelly, and Topa go to this sanctuary planet, and Topa meets Havina, where she is she's enlisted to join the cause, and it turns out that Havina is actually kind of secretly smuggling babies out of Moklis anyway, in contravening the treaty. So there is the Moklans kind of get wind of this. It's sort of suggested, and they kidnap Topa, and Kelly and Bortus discover that she's missing. There's a whole big to do because the shuttle's been sabotaged and they can't really search for them. And the Moklans, they torture Topa into giving up the information that Havina's given her, her contact on Moklis and the secret frequencies that they use. And the Moklans are incensed. They feel as though they're being disrespected by the Union at every turn. So this becomes a big diplomatic incident. And at the end of the day, the Moklans are kicked out of the Union because Bortus and Kelly, they find Topa, and she's been terribly mistreated by the Moklans, and they bring her in front of the Union Council, and everyone is kind of horrified by it. And now the Union has lost an ally, an important ally, in the war against the Kalon. So, yeah.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Oh, boo-hoo indeed.
Not only have they been lost, but the Union voted to oust them.
Yes, yes.
Good riddance to crazy trash. But also Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh indeed.
They're doing a great job though of building on past subplots. I think it's just, I don't know, getting better and better. Mm-hmm. Like every episode is self-contained, but every episode builds on the previous episode, which is something, I mean, new Trek could learn from, I think. But Ian, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just nodding and smiling.
Okay.
In agreement. Yeah.
All right. I thought this was another really good episode. I'm going to give a couple facts. Apparently, this was the longest episode in series history. Did you guys know that?
Yes.
It was the longest episode in television history. There's never been a television show longer than this. At what it clocked in at 7 hours, 45 minutes long.
Apparently, it's as long as 2 combined episodes from previous seasons. So that's long. Which leads me to think they should have just made it a 2-parter, but whatever, it was fine. Again, we're in the midst of the second half of the season, so they are filming all the episodes at the same time. So basically, okay, so they've got, what's his name, Jay Lee?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. John Lamar.
They've got him for like a couple days, like, okay, we're going to shoot all of your scenes in a row. So that's why in this episode, Lamar only has one line, Charlie only has like one line, I think.
Which was one of my favorite parts of the episode, to be honest.
What was the line again?
Oh, I don't remember. what her line was.
Okay.
It was almost nothing.
Yeah.
They went down to a planet and they didn't take the ensign.
Although
it was wonderful.
That's the thing. She had one line, but she still managed to annoy me. It was essentially it was when Captain Mercer said, "Oh, we're gonna go down to the sanctuary planet ourselves," and she's like, "Didn't the Admiral say no?" And she kind of gave like an annoyed face when the captain said, "Yeah, we're going anyway." Like, settle down, Charlie.
I know.
Yeah.
Nobody cares what you think. Me least of all.
Poor girl.
Yeah.
No one likes
Also,
her.
how dare you? How dare you insert yourself into a conversation that nobody asked your opinion on?
Yeah, just set the course, Charlie.
Yeah. I think so. Me and Aaron, who also watches the show, hey Aaron, and listens to the podcast,
And
hey,
she's
hey,
invited
Aaron.
as a guest. But anyway.
Oh, now you've outed her. She said, "Oh, we're in negotiations." Anyway, we turned to each other, and we both had the "shut up, Charlie" face. Like, oh, why is she talking?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, other than her, I thought this. I think the length of the episode. One thing that helped with is like the scenes where they were on. What's the name of the sanctuary planet again?
I don't remember that.
The Sanctuary World is called. It's just called the Sanctuary. It's
Okay.
Which is the name of the colony, but they don't. It's in the Nekar system.
Okay.
They don't name.
Well, that's okay. In any case, yeah. Whatever it is, I love the scenes where they're just sitting there, hanging out, and they're playing and they're talking, because it gives the story a chance to breathe, right? Like they're not rushing through all that stuff, so you really get a sense not only of what the characters are like, but also you get a feeling of like you feel safe. But at the back of your mind, you know something bad's going to happen, because there's no way everything can be going this well, right? So when Topa disappears into the woods, it just makes it a little bit more. It's almost like it gives you anxiety, because you're like, this is too good to be true. They're having too much fun. They're too relaxed, you know? So I thought that was an advantage to having the episode as long as it was. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking that there really isn't too much that they could have cut from this episode, even if they wanted to. There were a few little superfluous bits, like the Malloy Topa romance subplot. I was looking forward to that kind of being a thing, right? Because that would have been a good vehicle for some comedy. They didn't really explore that, except for at the very end, where it gave Malloy an excuse to say, "Hey, I want to go down to the council as well."
Right.
And that really didn't evolve into anything either, other than him just sort of standing up and yelling at the Mocklins, which was, I don't know, kind of a cringy scene, and that really didn't pan out either, because they kicked the Mocklins out anyway, so who cares? I don't know. They could have cut that, but I'm actually a little bit more disappointed that they didn't expand on that a little bit more and show us some a little awkward moments between Malloy and Topa, as you know, she's. I don't know.
Well, you're totally right. It's like, you know, Chekhov's gun rule. If you show a gun in Act 1, the gun has to go off in Act 3.
Yeah, and it's like they tried to pay that off, but they didn't really do anything with it.
And the thing is now another weird fact about this series is, because it was all filmed like the second half all at once. Apparently, all episodes were directed by Seth MacFarlane and what's his name, John Cassar.
Oh.
But there was actually some scenes where they were like, well, we've got Jay Lee here, so I'm directing this episode. Why don't I just direct this one scene? And so that tells me that, like, that funny scene in Engineering when Topa is kind of like telling Malloy that she like wants to take him to dinner, that was probably a Seth MacFarlane scene, I'm assuming, right? Because episode was written by Brendan Braga, who's known for, or co-written, he's known for his sci-fi stories from Star Trek. So it was probably an overall serious episode, and maybe MacFarlane just threw that in because he was directing that one scene. I'm going to assume, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree somewhat.
Okay.
Just hearing what Ian said about it being
Superfluous?
Superfluous?
That's it. I was like, this is like one of my favorite words, and suddenly I can't say it. Superfluous. Yes. Okay. About it being that, I see it now. Yes, it is a little extra on top, but it's the kind of like, for me, it's like an indulgence to see that kind of stuff happen, and it's funny. Even though it didn't pay off in the Mocklin, like when he was telling the Mocklins off, it did, however, seem to strengthen the Mocklin stance that they are mistreated by the rest of the Planetary Council. They had just like this officer screaming at them and pretty much calling them on their bullshit. And nobody reprimanded him.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. Not that we know of, and not yet. So they're kind of right about that they are a little mistreated by the rest of the Planetary Council. However, they're dickheads. So I don't know how much of that I feel like I'm trying to see their side of things, but it's really, they make it very hard. I enjoyed the small conversation. Like the whole, I don't think the catalyst was she likes Malloy. I think the catalyst is Kelly's like a mother figure. So it starts with Kelly. Even the catalyst is Kelly and Bortus. And part of this whole Malloy thing, even though it's a little bit clunky, her coaching her about her coaching Topa about approaching her crush, and us finding out that it's Malloy is kind of like secondary to the what we're about to talk about. I'm assuming is the Kelly and Bortus thing, which I think is even weirder.
That was very weird. I out loud said, "Don't do it, don't do it," as that moment was approaching, because you could feel it creeping up on you, and there's no reason for it. It doesn't make any sense.
No, and it's so strange. But I love how they're painting, and sort of evolving Bortus into this very progressive, Mocklin man. And suddenly he's attracted to a human female. We know she is like not speciesist, so that's pretty cool about Kelly. Whether you're blue or you're Mocklin, she doesn't care. But like, it's just weird because to me, Kelly, as sort of like the number one, she wouldn't blur the lines, even though, you know, her and the captain have been married. However, it creates kind of fun drama.
Yeah, well, I think the thing that makes it great is that now it just happens to be right at the same time Clyden comes back. So now nothing will come out of it, but it could also create a love triangle.
Could be a love triangle, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go like back to the whole Bortus talks to Kelly and confides in her a lot. And I didn't realize this until I kind of went back and looked at it. But Kelly and Bortus talk a lot about their lives together. And they're really good friends. Not until this episode do we see weird sexual tension. Which, and this is why I can forgive it, is because they're so close in a certain way. And now they share sort of a bond to each other because of how she's sort of... grooming is the wrong word now, Topa, but she's sort of helping Topa become like, you know, she wants to join Starfleet, the Planetary Union.
The Union, yeah.
She wants to join the Union. She wants to join Starfleet, whatever. You know what I mean. So she's kind of helping her because she wants to eventually be just like Kelly. And her and Bortus are really good friends, and they're also colleagues. They're also sort of like part of the same A-team on the ship. So I don't mind that it happened. I let's say that me wanting it to happen is like 0.1%. Like, I'm not eager for anything to happen. That it happened, I'm okay with, though. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't know. You know what I think what bugs me most about it is that I get like Worf, Counselor Troy vibes from this, right? Like Worf asks Counselor Troy to be Alexander's Sochim,
Yes.
right? And then they're making out, and like this is like it's along the same lines, right? Like
Yes.
Bortus's kid, and Kelly's got a relationship, and now they're kind of like making goo-goo eyes at each other. It's like the same thing, and that was one of my least favorite Star Trek relationships, and now we're getting an analog to that almost exactly here in the Orville.
To be honest, I actually buy this relationship more than I bought Worf and Deanna.
Well, yeah, because that was just really stupid.
Right.
But this is also a little silly.
Yeah, and it was also brought up that was brought up to me by Jeff. He was like, I feel like they're trying to treat him like the Worf character, and then he mentioned Troy. He also mentioned Dax.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember a lot of Deep Space Nine. But he also brought up that they kind of played those cards with her as well, or with them. I'm not sure if there's male or females in her species, race.
Dax?
Yeah, there are.
Well, yeah, they can host anyone, yeah.
Yeah, she's been both through her life.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Trill, that's it. Sorry. I was like, oh, I'm so embarrassed I can't remember. She's Trill. But yeah, I mean, and she actually, ends up married to Worf?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
No, she marries Riker. Oh,
No,
Dax?
Dax.
Oh,
Dax.
spoiler.
Dax.
I haven't gotten that far. Anyway, okay. Anyway.
Sorry, spoiler alert.
We've just ruined the entire series for you.
Okay, so there's other plots and subplots to talk about. We have to talk about...
Yes.
Should we talk about the big overall story or the fun stuff first? Because we've got a cameo here to talk about.
Okay, well, I mean, do you mean Clyden?
I mean, Dolly Parton?
Oh, sorry. Can we finish with Clyden, though?
Sure,
Because
go
it
ahead.
naturally leads into that.
Sure.
So, finishing off the whole will they, won't they? They probably won't. They probably won't they, and it'll probably just like kind of fizzle out because holy shit, Clyden decides. Someone tells him that his daughter's in trouble, and he decides to have a moral epiphany, an epiphany, and he comes back, begs Topa's forgiveness, probably says that they're inconsiderate, but doesn't apologize to Bortus. Whoa. And then that's it. So anyway, Clyden's back. Yay, I miss Chad Coleman.
Me
I
too.
don't miss Clyden.
Well, Clyden did a pretty good job of redeeming himself here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
He was tugging at the heartstrings a little bit. He was quite repentant with Topa. You're right. He didn't apologize to Bortus, but they have to work on their own, whatever, on their own time. And did Clyden and Kelly had a bit of a bit of a sour relationship too, didn't they?
Yeah, you mean
So-
the past? Yeah.
Yeah. So it was nice of him to allow her to stay for dinner, have a little bowl
Yeah.
of spicy soup with the family.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was obviously a callback to when he kind of kicked her out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like tried to
Oh
kick her out.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was good. Now here's the thing is, in this episode, I actually found, is it Havina?
Mm-hmm.
I found her very unlikable compared to her first appearance. What did you guys, or her, like, yeah, because she was made out to be this, like, what do you want to call it? Like, activist leader, but I just found her kind of unlikable. Not just because of what she did with Topa, but overall, she just wasn't as appealing in this episode. Did you guys feel that way?
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that, honestly, until you brought it up. But, like, yeah, this is something that was just sort of like an undercurrent
Sure.
throughout the entire episode. It's like, I didn't find her as sympathetic.
Yep. Right. She's just too manipulative and just unlikable. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't like her.
But I'm sure they wrote her like that on... Well, I don't know if they would have wrote her like that on purpose. I don't know. Because she did a pretty egregious thing there by
Right.
by enlisting the help of a very impressionable
Of a kid, right.
child. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, here's the thing. We all knew that when Havina was like, sure, I promise to never kidnap baby girls from Moklas. and bring them to the sanctuary. We all knew that was BS.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Like, baby girls are going to be born and they're going to need a safe haven.
Right.
And they're going to make their way to the sanctuary.
But it's also one of those things that I wasn't necessarily expecting anything to ever come of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is just
Like-
a thing that's going to happen in the universe that's never going to show up again on the show. But here now we
Yeah.
have an episode that, oh yeah, we're going to talk about this now.
Yeah. And it's like they're also, the Mocklins were definitely suspicious of it happening too.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they knew, well, they definitely knew it was happening because they knew to kidnap Topa
Mm-hmm.
to torture her for information.
That did seem pretty. I almost felt like I missed something. Like, wasn't she just told the information minutes before she was kidnapped?
Yes.
Correct.
So knowing that Havina is actually, the leader of the sanctuary, and they're on the planet, and she's also standing in the woods with Topa, why wouldn't they just kidnap and torture Havina?
Yeah, it seems like ideally there would have been a gap there where they would have flown away, gone to another planet, done something else, and then she would have got kidnapped. Because how could they have figured out what was going on so quickly, but then, like you just said, not kidnapped Havina? It makes no sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It also doesn't make an awful lot of sense that the Mocklins pulled this move on the one day that the Union was there. Like, why not do it either the day before or maybe the day after?
Good
like,
point.
They know where the planet is. They know that people on that planet have the information that they want.
Yep.
There are a whole bunch of different ways that they could have tried to figure this situation out without kidnapping the child of a Union officer.
Actually, you know what would have been ideal is, considering the length, if they would have split it up into 2 episodes and spaced them apart to make you think, oh, they're assholes, they just took off, and then the episode ends happy. And then a couple episodes later, they come back and kidnap her. Like, maybe they could have shown Topa doing transmitting these messages, right? For a couple episodes. That would have been nice, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've, planted trackers or, espionage technology on, this planetary Union vessel. That, figuring out a different way, figuring out a way to tell us they found out that Topa has information would have been way better.
Right.
And, however, though, I don't think we would have gotten that character development from Havina if she was the one to have been kidnapped.
Yes, that's true.
Which means, yes, they should have written a better way for a better through line of the plot of Topa being kidnapped and tortured.
Yeah.
And then 2, we would not have gotten the weird characterization of her as this, almost, like Mike was saying, not only did I not really like the way that Havina was, but it was, annoyingly, she was an annoying sort of martyr.
Yeah.
It was, die or die. Which I get it, but...
It kind of makes it, even because we've watched season 1 and 2 twice all the way through now, but even rewatching her first appearance, I was 5% annoyed by her, but I kind of just repressed it. I was like, no, she's good. But now that we're here...
It's your hate and my hate for poets.
Yeah, there you go. No, but it's like you said, Ian, it's it was kind of in your subconscious, is she annoying? And now you're thinking, yeah, she is.
Yeah. There was just something a little bit off about the way that she went about everything. And I mean,
right.
She's had all this time to do this thing that she's doing, and now it's just we have to sacrifice this kid for the cause. You've been patient. Just I don't know.
So this
why is it? Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. The whole scenario leads to the fact of the one even more annoying thing that she does. The most annoying thing, I would say, other than using a child to send information illegally through Starship communication, is that now that Topa's been kidnapped, they need the Planetary Union to act. So the council gets together, or Admiral Halsey interviews or talks to Havina and says, it'd be really nice if you admitted that you had committed this crime that way the planetary union, you'd have to do it in order for the planetary union to investigate the situation in order for us to get involved so we can find Topa. And she's like, I'll never do that.
Right.
It's like, wow, bitch.
I know.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, and especially considering the union really stuck up for you not too long ago when the Moclans discovered your little colony.
Mm-hmm. Right,
Yep.
right.
Which leads to the cameo that Mike wants to talk about.
Yeah, so let's talk about Dolly Parton. I'm not going to say anything bad about Dolly Parton, that's for sure. Everyone loves Dolly Parton. I mean,
I am sick of hearing 9 to 5 in the Orville.
I know.
Yeah, right. Like, seriously, when they walk into her writing nook and she's got that song playing, like, do you have that playing on repeat 24/7?
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, play a different song for one. I did like what came out of it. How of course I don't remember. I just watched it, but what was her final message? I don't remember what it was. Was it a lesson from her mother?
It was something essentially
It was
like,
weird.
It was.
you can be raised in the mountains and make a difference.
Well, no, it was like Dolly Parton stepped on a broken mason jar and she almost cut her toes off. And her mom used cornstarch and kerosene to fix her foot. And if you do the right thing in the moment, then things will work out in the end because I still have my foot. Like, no, that's compelling. And that was enough to have a hologram of a dead country singer. I mean, she's alive still in our timeline, but in the Orville's timeline, she's long dead. So a hologram of a long dead country singer talking about almost cutting her toes off was enough to convince Havina to tell the Moclans that she was still smuggling children. I don't know. That
was a lot. It was a stretch.
It was a big stretch, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the fact that she walked into the simulator and Dolly Parton walks in and she falls to her knees like, oh my God, it's you. Like, no, it's a hologram. You know what holograms are. This is not something that should surprise you, right? It's almost as though like you popped in a VHS tape and she freaks out. Like, oh my God, it's a recording. Like,
I just thought it was hilarious too that in her writing nook is just photos, like in a stalkerish fan stand way. It's just like this collage of Dolly photos. One, where did you get all these photos of Dolly Parton on a planet in another galaxy?
you just smuggle them in.
Yeah. How do they have a replicator that, is programmed with Earth 21st century knowledge?
And like a lot of them look like pencil sketches.
Also creepy.
Like, is she drawing these herself and putting them up?
Maybe she's not just a poet, she's also an artist.
You know what's funny is now that I think about it though, I've never actually, I mean, maybe I saw it as a kid, but I don't remember seeing 9 to 5. What about you guys?
I saw it in the drive-in movie theater.
Really?
Yeah, it was like 6 or 7.
Interesting.
When did it come out?
I'm looking it up right now. It came out in, give me 1 second here.
It was a double feature. While you're looking for that, it's a double feature. It was Homeward Bound and 9 to 5 at the Starlight Drive-In in Grand Bend, Ontario.
The movie came out in 1980.
What?
So, it had to have been a re-release for sure.
It must have been because I was born in 1984.
Right.
That's, unless I time travel.
The year of Van Halen on the Chinese calendar. Anyway.
Do you know what? Sometimes the
Anyway, what's that?
Wow! Sometimes there's a third feature, like a midnight show, and they would play like older films. Maybe 9 to 5 was like that older film. Oh boy. Homeward Bound's a good movie though. Anyway,
so okay, now this is not a podcast about Dolly Parton, but I will quickly give 2 facts about 9 to 5. No, 1. It grossed $103 million in 1980. You know how much money that is in like today's dollars?
yeah,
I have no
$85.
idea, but I have no idea, but it's actually a lot. It's like a movie making $103 million back then would be like a movie making $300 million now. For a comedy, that's pretty freaking good.
Well,
Anyway, just wanted to say that.
I can't be that impressed. I mean, like, it was 1980. There was like 4 other movies that came out that year.
Let's not be silly now.
It's not like nowadays when you're competing with Netflix and Hulu Plus. And
no, there was
this and
I
that.
guarantee there was around 500 movies released that year.
Oh, so just while you're mentioning Disney Plus, I wanted to really briefly, and I know we'll get back to it, I wanted to really briefly talk about, because we'd be remiss not to talk about it. San Diego Comic-Con happened this past weekend.
Okay.
And Seth MacFarlane said something that the Orville fanverse is shitting their pants over. And I don't think it's just speculation. Okay, so here in Canada, the Orville, I will just preface this by, when I heard this news, I was like, so what? Because the Orville is available on Disney Plus in Canada. So this is what Seth MacFarlane said. He's like, hey everybody, hey fans of the Orville, I just want to let you know that every single season of the Orville will be available to watch in the US. Seasons 1, 2, and 3 on Disney Plus starting this fall. So people are running with this. Especially our American fan brethren. And they're speculating that this means, because it no longer will have a place on Hulu in the United States, and that it is officially becoming part of the Disney Plus universe, that we may be seeing a 4th season through Disney Plus. Through Disney.
I hope so.
Does
But
that
I
make
mean,
sense to you?
I do know what you mean, but I mean, I guess it doesn't mean as much to us because it's already on Disney Plus for us. So it's like, it's all one company.
Yeah.
So, right?
Well,
so
I think, like, Jolie, is the point that you're making, that since they're moving it to Disney Plus in the States, that means that Disney is picking it up specifically for a 4th season, right? Like, Hulu's done with it, but Disney isn't, so...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and this was where I heard this was the Talking Orville podcast, which is like the unofficial official podcast of the Orville.
I thought we were the unofficial official podcast of the Orville.
We are.
We're the official podcast.
yes,
of the
exactly.
We're the official unofficial podcast.
So I just want to say one more fact about 9 to 5.
I thought you only were going to give us the one.
Well, no, I got 2 facts. The number 2 movie of 1980 was 9 to 5. It grossed 103 million. That's more than all the other movies that came out except for number 1. So it did do really well, really well. Guess what the number 1 movie was of 1980? Jolie and Ian, take a guess.
Top Gun. Interview with the Vampire.
Don't Google it, just guess.
I'm not gonna guess.
Goofy.
I'll give you a hint. It's the best movie ever made, in my opinion. One of them.
Willow?
Close.
Labyrinth.
It's a movie that I believe we've watched with Ian, Jolie.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
No, it came out in 1980.
I'm kidding.
And it made twice as much money as 9 to 5.
We've watched this with Ian?
Yes, I believe so.
What genre?
We've certainly talked about it with Ian. We've certainly watched other movies in the same series of this series. We've certainly watched a review of this film in Pogos. We've certainly watched we've watched a Red Letter Media review of this film.
He's not listening to me. It's Star Trek.
No, actually, no, sorry. Red Letter Media didn't review this. But fuck, it's Empire Strikes Back, guys.
Oh, sorry. I meant Star Wars. Shit.
Yeah. Empire Strikes Back grossed 209 million. So that proves 9 to 5 did make a lot of money because 103 is a lot. But anyway.
Go Dolly.
Yeah. But yeah, we have watched this, right, Ian? Maybe we didn't watch it.
I don't remember if we have, to be completely honest.
I thought you were about to say it. I've never seen a Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never seen a Star Wars.
Okay. I mean, we could say more about this episode.
I have seen The Phantom Menace.
There you go.
That's the only one I've seen.
It's the only one that matters.
Right?
Cancelled.
So yeah, this
Team
was
Jar
a
Jar.
good. This was a good episode. Not like there was. It's still among the best of the season. I think it's not as good maybe as the last few, but still among the best. It was a solid episode.
I'm giving this one a B.
Okay.
Solid B. Solid
I'm going to
B.
give it a 7.5 maybe.
That's a B.
Yeah, there you
You're
go.
agreeing with me. 7.5 is a solid B.
I'm going to give it a B+.
All right.
Just like an 81, 82, but however, the special effects when they're going into the sanctuary planet, they're all like cotton candy colors.
Yes.
I give that an A.
Yes, I agree with that. I give it 100%. 100%. Again, the visual effects are just
Incredible.
Amazing. I'm loving what they're doing there.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. The Dolly Parton scene, I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
It was okay. It wasn't as good as it could have been.
I'm annoyed that she played a song. And Mike, I know that we've talked about this in the podcast before. When somebody plays a song, and then all of a sudden it sounds like you're on a sound stage, and it's like, oh, you're in a soundproof booth.
Right.
And then not only did she play a song on the acoustic guitar, but halfway in, all of a sudden there's a bass player coming out of. What's going on?
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they started cutting around, right? Like the song is playing as now we're on the ship and this and that. And she goes to talk to, I forget if she talked to the captain or whoever, saying, oh, well, okay, I'll talk to the admiral. But no, I don't like songs in TV shows.
Well, it's kind of like that. You know, I do like Seth MacFarlane's humor, but he has like blind spots. And he seems to have this weird blind spot for not just Dolly Parton, but the joke itself. Like, I don't think the joke itself is as funny as he thinks it is. Like, isn't it wacky that Dolly Parton and 9 to 5 are...
I don't think it's funny at all. I mean,
it's just it's just outrageous. It's not really funny, you know?
I don't think it's supposed to be outrageous or funny. I think it's just part of his whole like pop culture callback shtick.
It's definitely supposed to be outrageous. It's supposed to be just like it's supposed to be like ridiculous, the fact that she is such an important figure in this, you know, mythos. Whether or not it's supposed to be funny or not is another question, but he just keeps going back to it, you know?
Yeah, and the fact that he keeps going back to 9 to 5, the song, it's like, oh, come on, I'm sick of that so much. But I don't know Dolly Parton enough to, like, what other song would you use that... Like, you can't use Jolene, because it's about somebody stealing her man.
Yeah.
It wouldn't really work for the Mocklin female society.
No, it's true. And then you couldn't use Try, or you could have. But here's the thing. She picked up that guitar, and I half expected her to do an acoustic version of 9 to 5. And then I was going to shut the TV off and walk out of the room. But like, she didn't.
At that point, maybe it becomes funny, right? Like humor by repetition. If we hear 9 to 5 80 times in one song, like in one episode rather, like maybe we're just laughing because we're just done.
It would have been great if she did like Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA or something. Like just as a thanks for covering Jolene, Miley. Nothing, Michael? Nothing?
Sorry, no, I was just reading through the list of the other movies that grossed a lot of money in 1980.
He's already done. The podcast
Mike's
is
checked
finished
out.
In his mind.
He stopped recording and everything.
I've already left the room. But anyway, yeah, so there you go, guys. Only 2 more episodes left. Can you believe it?
No.
I can't believe it. It's just starting to get good.
2 episodes of Orville. Let's hope it's not 2 episodes of not just season 3, but let's hope it's not also 2 episodes of the series. I do hope it continues, obviously, right? I mean,
I have faith that it will.
Yeah, and it's also really good. Like, it is, I think, the best genre show that I'm watching right now. Like, it's better than certainly better than Picard. My God, it's better than Obi-Wan. It's better. Like, Ms. Marvel's a good show, but I think this is better. Personally, this is better. The Boys is a good show, but I think this is probably better overall, you know? So
whoa, getting crazy. Crazy.
So there you go. Thank you, Champion. Thank you, G.I.Jolie, for joining me.
Thank you as always for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for not kicking me off the podcast yet.
Yeah. Well, hey, there's still 2 more episodes, so don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Thank you for continuing to agree to watch it.
Yep.
Through sickness and in health.
Yep. So yeah, find all of our episodes at www.comicbooksyndicate.com. And until next Wednesday, there's more where that came from.